Hello, everybody. Scott Golden with Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the World Class Championship Wrestling review series. We miss an episode as it's not available. The first week in September of 1983, not available. We return with the 10th of September of 1983, and it's a relatively noteworthy episode because it starts a couple of feuds that really, or at least one feud that really matters. That is the increase in intensity with Chris Adams and Jimmy Garvin, which goes on for the next several months. Buddy Roberts against John Mantell, spelled differently than Mantell, not the same fellow, so an enhancement talent for Roberts. Rare for Roberts to get the enhancement talent treatment here, but maybe they've buried him enough, or at least given him the, although it is the same individual, so it's just a misspelling on the network with Mantell. But what's interesting is to be given more of a prominent role where he's at least 50-50 is strange for Roberts. They go with, arm bars, arm drags, and the like. Actually, a headstand at one point on the hammerlock by Mantell, and it is clear that Buddy Roberts willing to cheat any way necessary in order to get the advantage, the victory, and all that is. Roberts, of course, the heater for the Freebirds for the last several months, and takes a good bit of losses, so could use some rehab here. Backbreaker in the midpoint of the match that gets him a near fall, but doesn't necessarily get him everything that he needs. A backslide and a victory for John Mantell, and then we move into what is a publicity stunt, but also rather heartwarming if you look at it for the sake of it. There is a gentleman, young man, teenager, who is a wrestling fan, and Kevin Von Erich goes and visits him in the hospital. He has been in an accident, confined to a wheelchair. Kevin kind of gives the kid encouragement and, sort of is just there to be supportive of the young man. And it's just an interesting thing to see that already in 1983, before the WWF was really prominently involved with Special Olympics, we see Kevin kind of doing a leg workout beside the kid, and just, certainly it's a publicity stunt, but at the same time, very heartwarming for fans of the area, I'm sure. And then we see the Mongol dressed in a furry outfit, and the manager, Skandor Akbar. Mongol is not very vocal. Akbar upset at the Von Erichs. Akbar upset that his charges have not gotten their attention, or what he believes to be enough attention from anybody in the area. Mongol up with Mike Bond next. Bond, an enhancement talent who really has yet to find his true stride here in Texas. And obviously a one-sided match. Mongol takes the power advantage. Bond does come up with a few offensive maneuvers, but nothing nearly at the level of a guy who I guess you'd say would be given a great deal of respect and misses drop kicks and the like. So certainly not a guy they're going to push heavy. Mongol does get his victory in relative quick order, less than 5 minutes. And then we move into probably what is a match worth on purpose going out of your way to see. America's champion Jimmy Garvin against Chris Adams. He has stated, Garvin, that he will defend the America's Championship as often as is needed. He does not keep to his word here, but this is probably one of the better matches of the year in world class from terms of just bumping around and the like. Garvin loses the advantage early to Adams. Adams using his speed, drop kicks, and various other maneuvers, back body drops and the like, to subdue the America's champion. Slows the match down with side headlocks and gains control of the match for several minutes. Jimmy, when he regains control, it's only through the benefit of cheating and, going in a direction that is less than favorable. Sunshine on the outside is certainly not above taking a backward step only when there is offense coming at her. Instead, she is constantly going in Jimmy's direction and trying to help him wherever she can. They go to, Adams is sent to the outside. Garvin doesn't seem to want him to let him back in the ring and will punch kick, poke and prod wherever he can to maintain the control of the match. It's almost as if Garvin is at least partially intimidated. Slows down the match, but what's interesting is that Garvin, while he is in control of a good bit of the match from a stylistic standpoint, Adams is never out of the match, and also when it comes to big impact maneuvers, the outside in suplex late in the match, for example, that nets him a near fall. He's the aggressor with the flashier moves, and he gets respect from the fans. Adams has almost beaten his adversary, but Garvin lands with a foot on the bottom rope, a back leg kick, and Adams again with the advantage, and they go just as much as they can go. Near fall off that back leg kick, as mentioned, and Adams is frustrated. He's going for several falls one after another. It is clear that he is just minutes away from getting a victory, but time limit draw is the result. We then go with Michael Hayes and Kerry Von Erich. This is certainly not a happy thought. And Von Erich comes out with Iceman King Parsons, who's wearing a martial arts helmet, and to mock Buddy Roberts, who's doing same. This match goes as one would expect it to go. Hayes is dominant early, although Kerry never really loses too much status. Hayes, though, is the dominant person throughout the early stages of the match, using every cheating tactic he possibly can. Kerry does have a tendency when he's on another planet drug-wise to maybe do a little bit of overselling, although he does have really good facials that, set things in motion for his sympathy when he needs it from the fans, and Kerry goes to work vehemently on the legs of Hayes. Hayes, a masterful seller who uses every bit of motion that he possibly can to get sympathy for himself, even when it's not warranted. Of course, that's the action of a good heel. Hayes, with a back suplex towards the end of the match, doesn't get all he wants out of it, gets some injury on the knee, and then we do see the match kind of break down a little bit here. Hayes not getting the reaction he wants, and as the match wears on, Hayes probably, it would be fair to say, is more and more frustrated. Sends Kerry off into the buckle one too many times. Is defeated by a second rope crossbody by Von Erich, or is defeated by Von Erich as Hayes, and Buddy Roberts into the ring, tries to interfere. Certainly the war's not over, Von Erichs and Freebirds, but this episode is, and we move further into the month of September in 1983, and keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.